Number 2, an ordinance to amend supplementary revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1016, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Section 1016-050, Schedule 29, Time Limit Parking, and Section 1016-160, Schedule 36, Special Parking District in regard to George Street. Number 3, an ordinance to grant an easement into the City of New Brunswick's right-of-way on Hamilton Street, Block 57, Lot 54.01. We have ordinances on first reading. Number 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1020, Handicap Parking, Section 102010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, adding 127 Township Street, 200 Sanford Street, and 7 High Street. Number 2, an ordinance to amend the redevelopment plan for the Jersey Handy redevelopment area in the City of New Brunswick. Number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 8, Health and Safety, Chapter 840, Solid Waste Collection and Disposal, Section 84020, Definitions, and Section 84110, Mandatory Recycling. Number 4, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, add Chapter 1041, Electric Scooters. Number 5, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 1532, Registration of Construction Cranes, regards to cranes. We have resolutions. Number 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll 9/14/19 to 9/27/19. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. 4, approve resolution to authorize refund of escrow, Top Line Construction Corporation, $15,409. Number 5, approve request for street closing requested by American Cancer Society, Landing Lane, making strides against breast cancer walk, Sunday, October 27, 2019, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. police extra duty. Number 6, approve request for street closing requested by the New Brunswick Police Department and New Brunswick Domestic Violence Awareness Coalition. Begin at Sacred Heart Church parking lot to Townsend Street, Lee Avenue, Handy Street, Pitman Park, Stevens Street, Troop Avenue, Townsend Street, and return to Sacred Heart Church parking lot. 17th Annual Domestic Violence Awareness Rally in March, Saturday, October 12, 2019, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Number 7, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion, Middlesex County Office on Aging, Title 3B, for information assistance, New Brunswick Senior Center, amount of $9,000. Number 8, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion, Middlesex County Office on Aging, Title 3C1, for congregate meals, New Brunswick Senior Center, amount $4,966. Number 9, approve award of contracts to furnish and deliver trees for the fall tree planting program with Barbados Nursery Corporation for items A, B, C, E, H, J, and N, not to exceed $11,831, with Schicktel's Nursery for items D, F, G, I, K, L, and M, not to exceed $6,855, specification number 78119P. 10, approve amendment of resolution R 071957, a reason to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $2,460 to Benedict Altman, representation of Police Director Anthony Caputo in the matter of Dion Napier versus the City of New Brunswick et al., from $15,560 to $18,020. 11, approve award of contract with Remedy Analytics Incorporation for prescription claims analytics technology, 36-month period commencing October 6, 2019 and ending October 5, 2022, specification number 77719 RFP, fair and open. Number 12, approve resolution authorizing a memorandum of understanding between the City of New Brunswick Police Department and the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, specialized investigative law enforcement equipment. 13, approve amendment of resolution R 081927, reason additional $55,000 to pay outstanding invoices for specialized legal services with Hoagland, Longo, Miranda, and Dukas LLP, the 2019 Special Counsel for Tax Appeals, Division of Assessments, from $150,000 to $205,000. 14, approve amendment of resolution R 111818, extension of contract for an additional 12-month period commencing October 6, 2019 and ending October 5th, 2020, the Brunswick Lodging LLC doing business as the Red Carpet Inn for emergency housing shelter. Number 15, approve request for street closing and use of city property requested by the Veterans Alliance of Raritan Valley Incorporated, Albany Street, George Street, Livingston Avenue, and Monument Square Park, from Highland Park to New Brunswick. Park location is Monument Square Park for a parade to honor the veterans who served in the United States Armed Forces, Monday, November 11, 2019. Street closure 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. 16, approve request for street closing requested by Collab Arts, location Maple Street between Somerset Street and Brookside Avenue, for unveiling a new mural on Maple Street, celebrating the identity of the community, Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Police extra duty. 17, approve amendment of resolution R081959, change dates from February 14 to 16, 2020 to March 6 through 8, 2020. Approve request for solicitation of funds requested by Rutgers University Dance Marathon to benefit the Embrace Kids Foundation Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 11 to 13, 2019, November 8 to 10, 2019, December 6 through 8, 2019, February 21 to 23, February 28 to 29, and March 1st, 2020, and March 6 through 8, 2020. Time is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Locations: George Street and Bishop Place, George Street and Seminary Place, George and Hamilton Streets, George and Somerset Streets, George and Albany Streets, George and Church Street, George and Patterson Streets, George and Byard Streets, George Street and Livingston Avenue and Liberty, George and Liberty Streets, George and New Streets, George Street and Paul Robeson Boulevard, George Street and Nickel Avenue, and Riders Lane and Dudley Road. 18, approve off-premise raffle 50/50 at the Hellman Hotel, 10 Livingston Avenue, New Brunswick, New Jersey, for the Mothers Club of St. Joseph High School, date Saturday, November 2nd, 2019. Number 19, approve award of contract with 72 Hour LLC, doing business as National Auto Fleet Group, Chevrolet of Watsonville, for one 2020 Jeep Renegade to the Department of Public Works, not to exceed $24,417.46. Sourcewell, formerly the National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA. Number 20, approve award of contract with 72 Hour LLC, doing business as National Auto Fleet Group, Chevrolet of Watsonville, for one 2020 Jeep Cherokee for the Department of Public Works, not to exceed $30,076.42. Sourcewell, formerly the National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA. 21, approve award of contract with Atlantic Machinery Incorporated for one sewer cleaner with accessories to the Department of Public Works, not to exceed $226,936. Sourcewell, formerly the National Joint Powers Alliance, NJPA. 22, approve award of contract with Alice Auto Body for auto body repairs with 2006 Dodge Durango for Division of Youth Services, not to exceed $2,000. Middlesex County Cooperative Purchasing Program, CK12, Middlesex. 23, approve release of site inspection fees and closed project to College Crossings LLC, For Them Funeral Home Incorporated, 188 Eastern Avenue, Block 67, lots 4 through 9, 32 to 36, 3701. 24, approve payment for emergency procurement, Public Works Department for cleaning of the sewer backup at 703 Jersey Avenue with North American Pipeline Services, LLC, not to exceed $3,550. Purchase order number E26420. 25, approve payment for emergency procurement, Public Works Department for cleaning of the sewer backup at 703 Jersey Avenue with Pumping Services Incorporated, not to exceed $5,305.13. Purchase order number E226421. 26, approve amendment of resolution R021553, supplemental services number 1 for additional engineering design work with Mott McDonald LLC, formerly Hatch Mott McDonald LLC, for professional traffic engineering design services for traffic signal replacement at Lewis Street and Hamilton Street, specification number 87615 RFP, not to exceed $5,600. Number 27, approve amendment of resolution R031626, supplemental services number 1 for additional engineering design work with Mott McDonald LLC, formerly Hatch Mott McDonald LLC, for professional traffic engineering services for traffic signal replacement at Sanford Street and Paul Robeson Boulevard, formerly Commercial Avenue, specification number 89615 RFP, not to exceed $1,000. Number 28, approve relaxation of city noise ordinance requested by W. Drake Construction to perform interior renovation work at the J.P. Morgan Chase Bank located at 133 Nelson Street, Monday, October 21st, 2019, from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019, from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, October 26th, 2019, from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. 29, approve relaxation of city noise ordinance requested by Brave Industrial Paint LLC to perform night work on the rehabilitation and repainting of the Home News Row water tank located at 19 Home News Row. Date for the period of October 2nd, 2019 through November 15, 2019, 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. 30, release of site performance guarantee in the amount of $24,492 and balance of site inspection fees of $1,020.50 to K&M Contracting Incorporated, 409 Joyce Gilmer Avenue, Block 28601, Lot 101. 31, approve off-premise raffle 50/50 at the Hyatt Regency, New Brunswick, for Coming Home with Middlesex County Incorporated, Saturday, October 19, 2019. 32, authorize payment of requisition number 8 for project costs, Cultural Center Project Theater Component with Cultural Center Redevelopment Associates, Urban Renewal LLC, in care of the Brunswick Development Corporation, not to exceed $3,680,016.79. Number 33, authorize refund to William Stutlow in the total amount of $5,245.67 against order account number 110-005-00000, block 187, lot 14, 223 Baldwin Street. Item for discussion of council, and then we have public comment. Okay, the regular meeting will come to order. Roll call.
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Here.
Council President Anderson.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the municipal council of the city of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Please stand during the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can remain standing if you are. For our men and women in our armed forces, here and abroad, especially those that have given their life, or those who have come back hurt, injured, and all those people around the world that are hurting. Thank you.
Motion to approve the minutes, September 5th.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Report of correspondence by the city clerk's office.
Yes. Item 1, a letter from NJDOT regarding our fiscal year 2018 Municipal Aid Grant Award. Item 2, a letter from Rowe regarding a site remediation response action outcome for 502 Jersey Avenue. Item 3, a letter from New Jersey Clean Communities Council regarding the Choose to Reuse campaign. Item 4, a letter from Piscataway Township regarding a public hearing to amend Chapter 21 zoning of the Township of Piscataway. Item 5, a letter from the State of New Jersey Office of Administrative Law regarding the revocation of license and denial of renewal 2019-2020 liquor license for Pseg, Inc. Item 6, a letter from Franklin Township regarding an ordinance number 4299-19, amending the code of the Township of Franklin. Item 7, a letter from Ramboll regarding a receptor evaluation form submittal. Item 8, an email from the Borough Clerk of Tinton Falls regarding a resolution in support of the upcoming referendum vote in November. Item 9, a letter from the Citizens Improving Affordable Housing regarding the modification of the New Jersey Affordable Housing Act. Item 10, a notice from PSE&G regarding the electric and gas societal benefits charge and cost recovery mechanism. Item 11, a letter from Middlesex County Department of Infrastructure Management regarding a new or amended development regulation or master plan. Item 12, a letter from Wick Companies LLC regarding a site improvement performance bond for 986 Jersey Avenue. The correspondence will be forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have no public hearings. We have ordinances on second reading. Number 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1016, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Section 101650, Schedule 29, Time Limit Parking, and Section 1016-160, Schedule 36, Special Parking Districts in regard to George Street. If anybody from the public would like to comment on that ordinance, please come up to the microphone up here. You have up to 5 minutes, one time up. Please give your name and address for the record at the beginning, please. You can lower it down.
Sarah Nazem on 46 Ray Street, New Brunswick. I was just wondering if the first ordinance with the parking regulations will impact what first campuses?
No, I think this has to do with George Street and Lawrence Government School, if I'm correct. So it just has to do with that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's just up that way where the teachers can park now.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Seeing none?
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number 3, an ordinance to grant an easement into the city of New Brunswick's right-of-way on Hamilton Street, Lot 57, Lot 5401. If any member from the public would like to talk on that, please come to the mic.
Good evening, Mr. President. Charles Prattville, New Brunswick today. So let me understand the motivation for this ordinance. There's a new building that opened earlier this year at 191 Hamilton Street, and I guess the people who built that building just thought it was okay to install a underground stormwater detention pump that partially encroaches the city's right-of-way. That's according to the ordinance. And now this ordinance is, I guess, necessary for them to make the city whole for the property they took without permission illegally, correct?
Pretty much so. We also got a word from the Franklin government if we could help out. We appreciate it. Because if they would have asked ahead of time, we probably would have given it to them.
I'm sorry, did you say Franklin government?
Somerset, yes.
I'm confused. What does this have to do with Somerset?
Isn't that where it is?
No, it's
They were coming into,
No.
no. This is an area on Hamilton Street, and unfortunately,
This is right where Hamilton
no, Hamilton East, okay.
Hamilton and High.
yeah, no, it's not Somerset Street, Mr. Council President. But in any event, it's a 2.12 foot encroachment. Apparently, when the contractor put it in, there was an error with respect to the measurements, I suspect, and it wasn't discovered until after it was completed. So this came as a request to the city to allow an easement. And obviously, we've done this in the past, but in this particular situation, we felt that in order to do so, the city should be compensated. And they are receiving $11,865 in compensation to grant this particular easement to the developer, the property owner.
He's paying us.
They're paying us, right?
And so through the chair, for Mr. Shammy, you referenced it was discovered at some point. Who discovered it?
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
Okay, through the chair, for Mr. Valenti, who discovered it?
Yes, as a function of all site plans, we request a professional land surveyor to do an as-built survey. It became apparent in the as-built survey that this tank encroached about 2.1 feet into the right-of-way. So it wasn't known until after the fact.
So the city discovered it.
Well, the surveyor pointed out, and then we recognized on the plans, and we brought it to that attention.
Okay. I think this is highly unusual. This seems like maybe the city should, take some action to make sure this type of thing doesn't happen again in the future. I know you were very, at least some members of the council were very dead set on punishing the community organization that had the, paperwork problem in the Cinco de Mayo festival. But this is a developer literally just encroaching, taking public land without proper permission, and now this ordinance basically absolves them of that violation, of that illegality, and without so much as a representative even showing up tonight, right? Is there a representative of Hamilton Street Realty LLC here?
I don't.
And so what is the punishment going to be?
Mr. Council President, the compensation is $11,865. We do this all the time with respect to easements. You recall, there's unfortunately situations where buildings can't be built without encroachments into the right-of-way. The city has it within its authority to charge for the easement. This, by the way, is underground. If you walked over there, you'd never know it existed, Mr. Crabbe.
Okay, so if I dig up my street and install something on my street, you'll turn around and approve an ordinance if I make it right with the financial, whatever the assessment is?
You doing it on purpose?
No, I have no intention of truly doing that, but I'm just suggesting that this developer might be getting special treatment because they're campaign donors and very politically connected. So I'm just saying, they don't get the Lazos treatment, they're getting the construction management, pay-to-play treatment.
I disagree, but okay.
Okay, well, I mean, that's the only point I wanted to make. I hope that something can be done to prevent these types of errors from happening in the future. Thank you.
Anybody else on that? Call.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have ordinances on first reading. Number one, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1020, Handicap Parking, Section 102010, Schedule 39, Parking Zone for Handicapped Persons, adding 127 Townsend Street, 200 Stanford Street, and 7 High Street.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, October 16, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number two, an ordinance to amend and redevelopment plan for the Jersey Handy redevelopment area in the City of New Brunswick.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, October 16, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number three, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 8, Health and Safety, Chapter 840, Solid Waste Collection and Disposal, Section 84020, Definitions, and Section 840-110, Mandatory Recycling.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, October 16, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number four, an ordinance to amend and supplement and revise our ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, adding Chapter 1041, Electric Scooters.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, October 16, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. Number five, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 1015, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 1532, Registration of construction cranes in regard to crane.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, October 16, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have resolutions number 1 through 33. If a member from the public would like to talk about any of those resolutions, please come to the microphone. We have up to 5 minutes. One time up.
Good evening once again. Charles Prattville, New Brunswick today. Number 10 is the additional payment for the police director's legal fees. I'll just ask, he's not here tonight, is he? Police director's not here, never attends these meetings. Okay, and now his legal representation is costing $18,000 just for this one case. Can you please ask the city attorney the status of the case?
That's the case.
Still pending, still in discovery.
Discovery, thank you. Moving on, 912 is a resolution authorizing an MOU between the city police and the county prosecutor's office for specialized investigative law enforcement equipment. What exactly? How specialized?
Who's that?
Basically, the prosecutor's office has all different types of specialty equipment. The memorandum, if we borrow it, we're responsible for it. If we damage it, we lose it, whatever, then we have to pay for it. That's really all the memorandum says.
Okay, is surveillance equipment?
You have to contact the prosecutor's office to find out what particular equipment they have. I don't know offhand what their equipment is.
Okay, potentially military equipment, you
I'm
know,
not sure.
tanks, aircraft, drones, what?
Whatever. Talk to the prosecutor.
Well, you're the one approving the MOU to allow our police department to have access to all this
Yeah, they
stuff.
said they needed it or whatever, so.
Who said they needed it? What is the purpose of this?
This is
We don't even know what it is.
Mr. Council President, members of council, we've done this last year, we may have done it the year before. Due to the financial impact that the city may incur to try to acquire a specialized piece of equipment. I don't know if it's a surveillance camera, whether it's a special apparatus used in police work, but the prosecutor's office acquires these things or purchases these things, and we borrow them. And the only purpose of the memorandum is basically for you to say that if the city breaks it, we have to pay for it. And that's basically what the memorandum is all about.
I understand, but so you're saying this is already in effect.
We did it last year, and this
Right.
is just the renewal of it.
So can we hear what is some of the equipment that has been borrowed, that's been used by the police under this agreement? I think it's fair if they wanted us to renew the agreement, we should know what it is.
Maybe they didn't borrow any.
Is that true? Can we ask the lieutenant here tonight?
I don't think Larry knows this goes first.
I don't know if you are or not. I can forward your request to Captain Miller to respond to you.
Okay. And is the council comfortable approving this without knowing what it is?
Yes.
Because we have
We have an idea of what it is.
Yeah, they have explained that this is, part of the Homeland Security, just, we are designated, just as my understanding, at least is in case of there's an emergency, something that they really need this equipment, they have the ability to use it.
So,
Do we know what they're gonna use it for? We don't know. We haven't known, there's no emergency, there's not a situation that they have to use it yet.
yeah, this sounds scary. I don't think we should be signing off on stuff if we don't know what it's for or what it is.
Well, police work.
But, well, that's a very broad category that it can include some things that I'm concerned that the council would approve this without knowing what it is. That's just, I think, respectfully, I think that's irresponsible. I think the public deserves the answers, and at the very least, you deserve the answers before you vote. So I would ask that you hold this and wait till the police can get back to you. And the other one I want to ask about was a last minute addition, 932, another $3.68 million for DevCo. Is this the final requisition, or will there be additional millions coming to DevCo?
Well, I do not think this is the last one, but I don't have a running count, but I know we bonded for the neighborhood of 20.
I have it. It's $18.5 million was the total. And with this payment, it will bring us to about $15.7 million.
Thank you. So another $3 million.
A little less. But yeah.
Okay, great. And then the final one is 933. This water account, somebody was refunded for about $5,000. Can I just get an explanation of how they overcharged so much?
Sure. What happened was it was a credit on his account. What happened, he moved. So he does not own that property anymore. So we owe him the money.
He sold it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Here. Anyone else just on the resolution? Seeing none?
Move the resolution.
Oh, wait a minute. Just a little louder.
Definitely get my name.
Name and address, yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Renee Bailey, and I'm a record student that lives on campus
Okay.
on 7 Swedian Street. So my question is under item number 13 for resolutions. I see that you have an increase of $50,000 for the budget. It's obviously a large number, so I wanted to know why, and if there was a significant increase in the number of tax appeals this year.
Yes.
That actually, it's 55,000, that's to pay the council who handles our tax appeals. And the city went through a revow, and those are appeals that are still coming through as a result of the city's appeals that we're defending, yes.
Okay, so we had a reevaluation, and that's going to bring out people that think their property is either undervalued or overvalued, so we have to take the appeal to court, and that's what they do, so we have to have some representation.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Resolutions? Seeing none?
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Sikora Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes. We have items for discussion by the council. I'd like to commend Ms. Pam Spanik and the Brunswick Cultural Center for their Boyd Park and the Bees Foundation for their nice job. Last couple of weeks ago on Sunday, doing a nice job down there. Also for the music that was supplied, and people who came in. Yeah.
I just want to encourage people to participate in the annual march against domestic violence. We just approved the resolution. It's going to be on October 12th at Sacred Heart. It's a good way of telling our community that domestic violence is not welcome here in the city. So join us.
Just piggybacking off of Rebecca. October is a dual month. It's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It touches home for me because my sister-in-law, we lost her at 32 years old. And when she was discovered, it was stage 4. She was already in the final stages when she was discovered. And they said that a mammogram probably could have gotten it earlier. And I just encourage all people to do that. Also, Rebecca just talked about domestic violence. A lot of times people elevate October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but they don't talk about domestic violence awareness as much because it's a lot of times it goes hidden. It can be men and women, women on women, men on men. And a lot of times people suffer in silence, and then the first time we find out is when they're in the hospital or they're going away from us. Awareness for domestic violence is if you think somebody is being abused, or if you have an inkling, or if you know something, just like they say with terrorism, see something, say, if you see something, say something, if you could have an inkling. Because that's something that can touch home, and almost every single home can touch anybody. And that's all. That's it.
Also encourage you, if you like, tomorrow night about 6 o'clock on Maple Street. There's the quote-unquote unveiling of the new mural over there by St. Joseph's Pizza City there for the community. So that our own councilwoman will be there. So you can come to that. Anybody else? Okay. All right, we have public comment. You have up to 5 minutes, one time up, please. Anybody wishing to comment on anything, please approach the microphone.
Good evening. Council Charles Craddock, New Brunswick today. Are you finally ready to join me in supporting the impeachment of President Donald Trump? No, still. Okay.
I have my hands let Washington worry about it.
Well, I think it's a bad approach. Moving on. High levels of fecal bacteria in the Raritan River. What is your comment on that?
Well, it's one of the reasons they postponed the cardboard race, just to make sure everything was okay. Not that it could have been, but it's a possibility. So they can cancel that, and I know the other people are working on it.
And what is the city doing?
The city itself, I think they're working with the other 3 Rutgers. I don't know if anybody has anything, or
I'm not aware of Mr. Teresi, who's unfortunately not here, maybe could have answered that a little more, but as far as the law department, I'm not aware of what exactly is going on. I know they're continuing the testing and the monitoring of the condition. I don't know if they've determined the source or not.
Well, I would just simply suggest that this is the type of thing that should be routinely addressed by the city council at your meetings. You should have updates on the quality of our environment, and if the tests are good, you can celebrate, and if the tests are bad, you can address the problem. But I think that I shouldn't have to bring this up at the council. This should be routinely discussed here. Clary Barber is running for county freeholder. She's also a city employee. I've been asking for over a month now. Is she going to keep that job if she wins?
I don't
boss being the mayor.
Believe so.
Right, okay. And I know there's a couple of representatives of the mayor's office here tonight. Can any of them enlighten us as to whether she'll be keeping that job if she wins?
Does anybody want to say anything?
I'll say this is a conversation for America. You know how that goes.
Okay. I'll look into it. City engineer, we're still without a permanent city engineer, I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's the update on the hiring of a permanent engineer?
Mr. Julius can answer that question.
My pleasure. We have posted the position on numerous sites that attract city engineers, and we're interviewing. We don't have a final candidate yet.
Okay, thank you. I noticed on first reading you adopted amendments to the crane
We didn't
registration.
adopt anything, we just pushed it to the thing. We're looking into it.
Yeah, through the law director, it's fair to say an ordinance was adopted on first reading tonight regarding the crane registration.
Passed on first reading.
Okay. If you look at the ordinances, it says adopted on when you do that. So just to be
We gotta
clear,
do it twice, that's why.
I understand, it wasn't final adoption, it was the
Right,
first reading
exactly.
adoption. And
Exactly.
I just wanted to make sure, Mr. Shammy, did he get my voicemail today, the message I left with his staff?
I did get a message, Mr. Crabbe. I was running around today quite busy.
I understand. I just would appreciate the opportunity to discuss this ordinance with you. I've obviously taken a lot of look at it, and I would like to share my thoughts and maybe improve. I haven't seen the draft, but I would like to share my thoughts if that's okay with Mr.
I
Shammy.
appreciate Mr. Crabbe's attempt to provide, some feedback and input, but I
Think
think
of any-
the law department probably could handle it, Mr. Crabbe.
But if you have anything I need, put it in a letter or an email, I'll send it to them.
I guess I'll do that then. I was just hoping we could just verbally,
Don't waste your
person to
time.
person after all these years in the city, that said that I could just give my input verbally to the city attorney, the highest official in the law department. But if he wants it in writing, I'll give it to him in writing, that's fine. Also, scooter ordinance, can we learn a little bit about what the city is planning to do with scooters? I know there's some final
The
adoption.
idea would be that they're gonna have scooters around town or whatever, and people can get on them and move around back and forth.
Well, that much I get, but what exactly, is there going to be a specific company? Is there going to be specific hours or rules or areas of the city?
And all that's being planned right now, we're looking into it.
Well, what's the content of your ordinance that you just adopted on first reading? What does that say?
Mr. Council President, members of council, it is a very comprehensive ordinance which will address the operation of electric scooters by individuals and possibly by allows for a pilot program with a commercial vendor to possibly come into New Brunswick and have scooters for hire, if you will. It regulates the operations, the time frames, the obeying particular traffic laws. It's very extensive. It also provides for fines and penalties in violation of those issues. So we're trying to get ahead of the potential for scooter activity in New Brunswick and have an ordinance in place that will address it, similar to what some other cities have done throughout the state.
Thank you for the thorough answer. I do have specific questions for Mr. Fleming and Mr. Egan. I'll try to catch up with them after the meeting. I'll talk to them after the meeting. But I did want to just close with some remarks about an article I read today in BusinessInsider.com. It's quote, the 50 most miserable cities in America based on census data. And I'm sad to report that New Brunswick is the number 11 most miserable city in the United States of America, according to this.
Things like that.
It's census data. And I'm not saying if you just allow me to continue, the quote from it says, quote, it has had problems with crime. In 2017, the city's assaults with guns rose 64%. And so, as you know, I've been bringing up the issue of gun violence repeatedly here and attempting to get a gauge on exactly how bad the problem is. So I just want to share my findings with the state police records that they have on their website, statistics provided, I believe, by the New Brunswick Police Department. We can see that the number of aggravated assaults is, for the first 6 months of this year, 79. Which puts us on pace to be twice that, which will be the highest since 2014. So I do just want to reiterate that this is a serious problem. It's getting worse, not better. And the fact of the matter is, the police director's not here. The deputy police chief, a new position you created, the highest paid person in the government, is not here, Deputy Chief Sabo. And I don't even believe there's a captain here tonight. And no disrespect to the lieutenant who is here, but I don't think he can answer the question that I've been asking, which is how many shootings have there been in New Brunswick this year? And if the department cannot answer that question, then they are not doing their job. Data is important, we need to get the data, we need answers, and I hope that you and the department will start to be more transparent as we move forward. Thank you.
Yes.
Mel Pittman, Brunswick, Jersey. I want to first start off by, came here last week and Councilman Fleming wasn't present. And I want to start off by, congratulating him. And I'm sure that he is going to congratulate me for a job well done doing a relief effort mission. What me and Councilman did was, we got together, and I've done relief missions all throughout the United States. I went to Texas, went to Flint, Michigan, I went to Carolinas, did a U.S. Virgin Island relief mission. We sent, relief items to Haiti. And majority of those relief missions, whether you know it or not, Councilman Fleming has quietly assisted. He doesn't say too much about it. He doesn't get the accolades, but he assists me. Whenever I call him, he makes it happen. So this was no different. So reaching out to him, he did what he could, to get a space. All we needed from New Brunswick was a space to occupy water. We didn't come down here with our hat in our hand. We didn't say we need donations. We didn't say we needed contributions. We didn't ask New Brunswick to help us commute the water from New Brunswick to Newark, which would still have water issues. All we said was we needed space, and he did everything he could to make it happen. And he followed through with that. So thank you, Councilman. A round of applause. Well, my question is, what happened since my last meeting? Because the issue came about was, you understand we had the teen center 4 days, 4 hours. And within approximately, they gave us 16 hours to do an entire relief mission, which is almost impossible. But we pulled it off with the help from the community. Mind you, the city didn't donate not one bottle of water, not one case of water, didn't load not one case or bottle of water onto the vehicle. But we were thankful for having the space. And what happened was Newark got upset because they said, well, wow, you can fill a truck in 16 hours. Imagine what you could have done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which most relief missions take, normally a relief mission take a month. So, they were upset, so they reached out. And last week I said, they had contacted the mayor. Contacted someone from the mayor's office, or whatever have you. And all we were asking for was, is there going to be an extension to the teen center? If not, we'll find. Hello? Yeah, you come up these steps. Come up these steps. You're right, you're perfect time. Come up the steps. So, as I was saying before, I was greatly enjoying. All we were asking for was, do we continue to get, because we only had 16 hours, because people were still contacting me, sending me cash apps. There's pallets of water still at the teen center now, because people didn't get the memo that we can't go to the teen center anymore. So, all I came in and asked was, are we allowed to continue to drop water off at the teen center? And you guys said, Chief of Staff Keith Jones will contact me. My question is, what happened?
It was my understanding, it was my understanding that we got word from Newark themselves, they did not want any more water, but I'll let Mr. Jones.
So, on Wednesday, we got a call from Newark. No, we got a call from Union County, basically asking, could we extend, I'll give you background on the whole thing, could we extend a water distribution to Newark? Nobody in the mayor's office, nobody in the administration had a clue that the city of New Brunswick was doing a distribution out of New Brunswick. We never got the memo. That was never passed up from the teen center to the mayor's office or to administration. There was never a proposal. There was never any word on how this was going to operate. None of that happened. So what the mayor asked was, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know it, but it's a cost. Should we proceed with the cost? I agreed and said we should proceed with the cost, but it should be coordinated. That's Wednesday. Wednesday council meeting, Mr. Pittman came and asked what was the deal. I reviewed the tape today just to make sure, and Mr. Egan asked, are you looking for more space? And he said what he was looking for. Then you asked me to look into it. Looked into it, contacted Assemblyman Holly, contacted the teen center to find out what the deal was, why we didn't get a memo, how is the thing operating, how many days they need. The mayor wanted to run it until the end of the month. He said give them to the end of the month. But being that we had to do a little bit of background research to find out how none of this was translated to the administration, we gave them an extra 2 weeks. So it went from the end of the month all the way to second week in October. So the issue was that teen center is under remodel in that backspace. There's an issue with liability, there's an issue with insurance. There was an issue with not having the proper clearances to use the building in the first place. There was an issue with kids going in and out and the liability of that. So what we did was we still wanted to be helpful, right? So we moved the whole entire operation to DPW, which is now on Jersey Avenue. Easier access to get into the place, easier access to get out of the place. Now you got Route 1, you can jump right on the highway. Half of the warehouse so you can basically store more water. A forklift so nobody has to pick up bottles of water. And we had, I think, was it 1 or 2 extra men that were going to stay longer, come in earlier and stay later so people that wanted to deliver water after work could do that. So basically, and on top of that, we were looking to also donate 10,000 to 15,000 cases of water. And it wouldn't have been from the city. It would still been his operation. But what happened was, on Tuesday of last week, Star Ledger came out with the article that the city of Newark is no longer looking for bottled water. It's no longer taking bottled water, right? They got 38,000 filters, blah, 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 blah. So the mayor asked me, out of respect for municipality, it's not about the need, it was municipality, call the mayor and find out, set up a meeting, figure out if they still need water. Because the last thing New Brunswick would hate to do is dump water on Newark that they don't need, right? That the mayor said they don't need. Now, if it's reality or not, that's a different story. But the office was, look, we're trying to get people to use the filters. We're going to focus on mothers, pregnant mothers, infants, young children, and seniors. That's it. We're going to run down, we have a warehouse that's full of water right now, so we're going to run that down, and in the event that we need more water, we'll activate the city of New Brunswick again. We thank you for offering it, but at this time, we do not need any more water. So, first thing to do, I couldn't trust anybody else to relay that message to Tormel. So my thought was, let me talk to Tormel. And I'll give you more background. No, I could not. So I said, let me talk to him man to man because I didn't want my information to get lost in translation. So what I did was, instead of a phone call, I sent him a message. This is why we're not doing it. This is at the request of the city of Newark. This is what they're doing. If the city, this is the location that we're giving you. If the city of Newark decides that they need us, we'll be back in. We look forward to working with you. You do not have to stop your personal thing. So whatever Tormel and Glenn were doing prior, they didn't have to stop it. They just couldn't use the teen center. They already used the teen center for that 5-day period. So we're going to give you the DPW site, but they didn't need the water. So it wasn't an issue of stopping anybody's water relief program. If you wanted to use a progressive lodge, if you wanted to use a church, if you wanted to use a hall, if you wanted to use your home, you still had the option to deliver the water straight to the north. But it was just from municipality to municipality, they asked us to stop for a second. Gave them all the information, and that was it. So the only thing that stopped us from providing this opportunity for them was the city of Newark said, we don't need the water. And I'll say again, whether that's true or not, if they needed the water, municipality to municipality, no mayor is going to say, I understand that you don't need to take this 10,000, 15,000 cases of water anyway. That's not going to happen. So we have to find other ways to make that happen. And that's what happened. So he was the first one to get the message after I finished with North, he was the first person I contacted.
My question is this. Oh, okay.
I want to clarify my part of this because I understand, like, I wear different hats, and it wasn't going to be a municipality, it wasn't going to be a New Brunswick thing. I understand when I attach my name to something. That's why I keep, like, kind of in the background. I say, okay, here we go, let's try to do this, then let's run with it. It's just a coincidence today it popped up, like when we did the Houston. We did the one for Houston.
Right.
I said, let's just do it, rent a truck, and let's do it like that. It wasn't New Brunswick to Houston, it was leaving from New Brunswick to Houston. So, yeah, we probably could have communicated it better, because put down the hours, but people had been so generous, we created a good problem, because people were still bringing stuff in. The dispenser called me, he said people are still bringing it in. I said, okay, we're gonna try to get a better handle on this, but it wasn't like I was drawing up something, something that the city was doing without anybody knowing. I don't make any apologies to say, okay, when people are in need, let's go and do this. Let's try and make it happen, let's go and do this. Because I expressed to him, I said, Mr. Pittman, I said, okay, we probably could have done a church, we could have done someplace else, so it won't stop, so this won't stop. So it wasn't like I was going behind and saying, you know what, this is New Brunswick here. I'm not a rogue person like that. It was, okay, let me help out, give me a call, let me see what I can do. It took me a couple days, let's do this. Just the communication standpoint, yes, we might have had little things right there where we didn't put up the proper, I didn't put up a proposal because, like I said, I could have easily called up one of the churches. I just spoke to somebody the other day and said, you know what, we just need this space right now. It's just the point that we created a good problem because people were so generous and they continued to give. So when the communication didn't come out properly to when people thought that they couldn't give anymore, that's when I think we had a breakdown. It was a big breakdown. And it never was going to go municipality to municipality. So now I know in the future, we could just go with an organization, we go from organization to organization, just like what happened in Houston. There was no problem. There was no problem in that.
My question is this.
Yeah.
For one, if the teen center is so dilapidated, what are teenagers doing there?
Nobody said it was dilapidated. They said it was under remodeling.
What are the teenagers doing there?
Right in the back room, they're in the gym. There's multiple rooms in the teen center. The back room is being remodeled. So there's still activity going on at the teen center. Nobody said the word dilapidated. And so that's false.
And I pose this question also, when did you reach out, because I never had your phone number. I never had your personal number. When did you reach out to me, and how did you reach out to me?
I reached out to Trammell on Tuesday. So he came here Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we did all of our trying to find out what happened. That's why we extended it extra 2 weeks, right? But, because the mayor only wanted to give it a month. They didn't give a date of how long they wanted to do the relief mission. So the first person that was contacted after we got an answer from North was, and that was just out of respect.
But the problem is, you should have contacted me before you contacted North, because you had nothing to do with the relief mission. Your job was just to let me know whether we could still utilize the space or not. You contacted North. Let me give you an example about relief missions. What you did, or what the city did. That's like somebody contacting Flint, Michigan, and asking Flint, Michigan, do they still need water at the local government? Of course they're gonna say no. That's exactly what you did. Contacting Newark, and that's exactly what the city of New Brunswick did. Hey Newark, or hey Flint, Michigan, do you guys need water? Regardless of the 4-year-old young lady, the young child, who lead level was 42, which is supposed to be 0, and you have kids in and out of hospitals in Newark who with lead levels of 28 and 35. They didn't mention any of that to you. And you don't know any of that because I go to the people. It's the difference between government and grassroots. And you took it upon yourself to turn the grassroots movement into a government situation, and that's why people are continuing to suffer right now.
That's
I think Councilwoman Escobar has something to say.
No, I just had a question just for clarification in terms of when the teen center, when they agreed to give this space at the beginning, they knew this was for the relief mission, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And listen, them knowing all that information, the only organization that elected to assist us with the water relief movement is the fire department. And I had to cancel a meeting with the fire department because he sent me a text message. He didn't even have the audacity to call me and tell me everything that he's stating to you.
Yeah.
He communicated through me through a text message
Right.
5 days later,
Yeah.
which he could have reached out to me and asked me what was going on. He could have reached out to Glenn.
No.
I just want to say that I understand Mr. Pittman's frustration, I really do.
Yeah, because Newark is a black city, and this is a black organization.
I understand where he's coming from, Mr. Jones is coming from, because I thought the same.
You can't understand where he's coming from.
What I'm saying is the sense of the understanding, because when I read, after you came here, then I read, oh, Newark doesn't need water, so what's going to happen? I thought the same thing, what's going to happen? So maybe that's the way that it all started. I don't think it was to stop the mission. I think they still.
No, it was to stop it. It was to stop, because if it wasn't to stop it, if you would have followed your instructions, he would have contacted Tormel Pittman and said, listen, Tormel, I'm about to contact Newark. What's the situation? We could have sat down and I could have expressed to him that the same people he contacted are the same people who said there was never a water issue 5 years ago. I donated a truck of water, I donated a tractor trailer of water to Newark schools 5 years ago. So we been knew there was a water problem. And if he would have addressed me and contacted me and gave me the respect of a phone call, I could have said, listen, they're going to tell you there's no problem, just like they told you initially there wasn't a water problem.
I think we have a communication problem.
No, it's not a communication problem.
There, so-
It's not a communication problem, because he contacted me 5 days later, and he communicated through a text message.
I'll end by saying this. So I contacted him that way because we got history. And my thing was, I wanted
You're
to
a
make
professional.
sure. I am.
Be a professional.
So I am. So I wanted to make sure there was a timestamp of what was said. If I have a conversation with anybody in this room, once I hang up, there's no guarantee they're going to relay the message the same way I gave it to them.
So did you text Newark?
Huh?
Did you text Newark?
I did all the above.
No, did you text Newark?
No.
Did you text Jamel Howard?
Yes, I did text Jamel.
You sure you
Jamel that way.
I'm not sure that the meeting is going to be between two people here. That's not what this is.
It's between, no, listen.
You can take that in.
Listen.
Your time is up, but
Hold on.
please make it quick,
Listen,
all right?
let me explain something to you.
Just make it quick, because your time is up.
He's going to be collateral damage. I know the issues you got. I'm not going to sit here and target him. He's going to be collateral damage, but I know the issues you guys. Whoever informed him to be the gatekeeper on a grassroots mission that was successful,
We're not saying it's not successful.
it was already successful. And the problem was New Brunswick had nothing to do with it. These are people, what happened was this, right? This is the problem. People who donated water, right? They were receiving blessings. And New Brunswick blocked those blessings. And they blocked the blessings of the ones who wanted to also contribute. So now the teen center have a room that's not being used, but we would rather have it not be used than to put water in that room for people who are suffering that look like me. You gotta be out of your mind.
Just real quick to finish, because I just want to.
He would have never did that if that was Middletown I needed water. He wouldn't even have the power to do that. If that was Middletown I needed water, he wouldn't even got involved.
Excuse me, Mr. Pittman, I just want, Mr. Jones, just one question. If I understood correctly, it's just the city involvement, but the city city still offer the space for him to have the water and continue his relief?
Yeah, all I told Tamara was that he couldn't use the teen center anymore.
But
No, he didn't just tell me that. You want me to read your text message?
Please do.
You want me to read your text message?
I'm not going to go into that.
You want me to read your text message? You want me to read the whole thread?
Yes.
That's me. Anything else? Anybody else that has to say anything, take the microphone, please. Go up to the microphone.
Well, I text you.
Good evening, New Brunswick Council.
Read your texts.
Donna Jackson. I'm
Just
from
go on.
Newark, New Jersey.
That's what
I'm going around to municipalities to get some clarity on what's going on here. The governor of New Jersey and the mayor of the city of Newark are going to jail. Newark, the doctor that diagnosed this water in Flint has been to Newark twice to let us know that our numbers are worse than what is in Flint. We have a 96% increase in epilepsy and seizures in the children in Newark age 15 and under. Fact, documented, UMD&J Hospital. This is a crisis beyond anybody's belief, because not only do we service water to Newark, but we sell to 15 other municipalities. We also sell water to American Water. So when those 29 Legionnaire cases popped up in Union County, and those 5 deaths, guess whose water that was? Newark's. We've lost endless number of seniors in our town, because we had a Legionella outbreak into Nevada, which houses 550 elders. The blessings were blocked to Newark, Because the water that was collected here in 4 days, we were able to facilitate a whole senior building in Newark. We have senior buildings that got 2,700 in there. I know you guys couldn't imagine it here, but I see the nice buildings here. We have one area that has all these high buildings that you have here. We got 2,750 elders in one complex. The city is not giving them water. The city has not tested their water. The EPA has not tested their water because they're in collusion. So all I'm going to say is, I don't know why the block came, but I do know the Democrats are covering their behinds because they have lied. Now, we have someone coming in. We have Dr. Eric, who exposed all of the cover-up in Flint, who is now active in Newark, and we are doing some independent testing. And I'm telling you right now that he has a relationship with the scientists at the EPA who are telling us that the reports we're getting are all false. That the numbers are double and triple what Newark has told us. We're not just dealing with lead in Newark. We're dealing with acid levels over 100 parts per billion. It says on the bottom of the notice mailed out by the city, this may cause kidney failure, liver failure, neurological system damage, Alzheimer's increase with the lead. The mayor initially stood up and said, boil the water, the lead will go out. I don't know what science class he was paying attention to in school, but clearly he was not paying attention. Because most of you sitting in this room know that boiling the water increases the lead level, not decreases it. We have so many contaminants, people's houses have been checked, and arsenic has been found. We are in crisis in North New Jersey right now. People can't afford to buy the bottled water the way it has been. People in North that can afford the water, they're taking it to other families. We need the relief mission across the country. People are sending us truckloads from all over, but guess what? It's not enough. We have people housing, public housing, they're not receiving any water from the city. But yet their children are going to be tested, and they're coming back a 20, a 50. We had a 2-year-old went into cardiac arrest when Tamel came up. The mother came to the church to tell about her child, 2 years old. We got a 4-year-old. I got a 6-year-old today that's talking about killing himself because lead produces violence tendencies. And I think the state of New Jersey now is trying to cover their behind because now they want everybody to test for lead. That's fine. The feds say there should be 0 lead. I hope there's no lead in New Brunswick. I hope you guys are taking a page from what's going on in North and what already happened in Flint. Now let me just give you this one last thing. The politicians play games. We don't have time for that. These are children's lives on the line here. We've lost elders in Union County and North because of this. That's proven fact. Go pick up the article, Google American Water, and see who they buy their water from. They buy it from North New Jersey. So that Legionella outbreak is our water, because there's Legionella in the water. And guess what? North is still not treating that 4 years later. In 2016, we shut off every school in the city of Newark. Every high school, every grammar school, every preschool, every daycare, anything that facilitated children, we shut it off for 6 months. The mayor then stood and said, it's only the water in the schools. You go back, it's there. He's still saying it tonight. He's doing the town hall meeting. But I felt it important to come down here to let you guys know we're in trouble. And if you have friends, you need to tell them to send us some water. Because we're not just servicing Newark, but we have children that are in crisis. We don't even have bottled water going to the schools right now. None. Because the mayor and the governor have decided that we're going to let this, that we're going to let this thing fester. And I'm telling you guys, there's some folks stepping in to help us. Hill Harper is coming in to help us file a tort claim for these families whose children are 40. And how do you explain that? Lead paint was outlawed in '86. So where are the elevated lead levels coming from? So I just thank you guys for helping. I don't know what's wrong with this administration here. I guess they have a relationship, you know how the people do, they get together, and we're gonna all hold the line because that's what we're saying now. But I'm telling you, go back to MSNBC. I'm telling you to go look at online and see the documentation. It's there. You guys are elected officials. You have access to the DEP and the EPA records, and it's all there. Our water is contaminated, and we still need the collection. So, sir, if you could reach out to a church, because this county was so generous, please do that. Because we need the help. Actually, right now, at the church, we have absolutely no water and haven't had water since Thursday because of the damage that the governor and the mayor have done. We are in even more crisis now because there's no water. And see, when we get elected officials that don't do investigation first, that don't reach out to the assemblyman who initially put the call out. He sits on Homeland Security. Why would Assemblyman Holly lie? Why would Assemblyman Holly put his reputation on the line, sitting on state Homeland Security? He sees the documents. Call him yourself. Tell your mayor to get himself in check. Because this is not what is happening here. People are hurt. You can call UMD&J tomorrow, and they will tell you there's a 96, but if there was a 40% increase here in New Brunswick in epilepsy and seizure connected to your water, what would you do? And I'm asking you guys to help me do the same thing in North. I'm asking you to do your own independent thinking, because some of us, that's what we have to do. I don't know why our governor has decided to collude with the lies in North, but I'm telling you I'm a mother there and I'm a grandmother. And I'm telling you I'm working with these families who are continuing to take their children to the emergency room because of this leg. And it is not a fun thing. Any of you have a child that's epileptic, our autism numbers have quadrupled in the last 5 years. And that's so across the state, I do know that. But in North, we are really getting hit hard with this. So I know what the mayor told him. Because they say now the water's even worse because we're not using the water. But guess why the water is getting worse? At their own experts' words in federal court. Because the moment you start digging up the ground, and you guys know that, the particulates in the ground go into the water even more than when it wasn't being touched. So you can imagine now that we're replacing lead service lines that is not going to address the acid and cancer chemicals in the water. You can imagine what our water numbers look like now. But I will assure you I'll be back in 2 weeks. Because we're doing independent testing now, and in 2 weeks I'll have those numbers. And I'm going to bring them here for you so that you can see the collusion between the governor and our mayor. We are in crisis, and I'm telling you that for a fact. Thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps there's a way of moving the water to, church or something else like that.
But
That
they
way
offer
the
public
city-
waters. We have public waters.
That's the whole thing, so it's
They want, there's two different things. They want the water, we're not gonna give it to them.
no, that's not the
So we can
situation.
give that to them then?
Yeah,
We set it out?
Yeah, the situation, that's not what's happening.
All right,
This is the-
we'll
this is the-
let it out.
This is
Okay.
the problem, real quick, and I'll be real
Real
quick.
quick.
Very brief. The problem with the team, this is the thing, when people are contributing water, and they're donating their time, going to supermarkets, picking up water, they chose, the teen center was easy access for them. It's a friendly place, people are in and out, there are adults in there all the time, so I don't think that should have been an issue. They have a loading dock there, you don't even have to go through the teen center.
Apparently somehow it was, whatever reason, it was an issue somehow. I don't know, but obviously it was. So we're trying to remove them from the situation.
Yeah, we gave a better location, that's all we did. Honestly, we gave a better location, another place to get even more water.
We weren't involved in it at all, and then maybe we can do it by a church.
And to be honest with you,
Give it to the ladies.
the challenge is this. If you want a grassroots operation, so you want the most vulnerable people to buy water for the most vulnerable people because you want it to be a grassroots. You don't want donations from corporate folks. You don't want donations from the city. You don't want donations from any of the partners. When the goal should be to serve as many people as possible. So we went from 300 to 400 cases of water going to a senior center to the possibility of 10,000 to 15,000 cases going to North, to whoever needed. Not us picking it, would have been Tormel picking it. But it's the thing about we don't have anything to do with it. City's not your thing. This is our thing. But at the end of the day, our goal is to help people. So that the hypocrisy is you want us to help, but then you don't want us to be a part of the help. And we don't want any credit. And at the same time, the thing was, nobody stopped from anything. So that's why I put my number at the bottom.
How would I not want someone to help when I've had a meeting, I was meeting with the
obviously
fire?
wanna get the water
No, wait,
to York.
stop.
We wanna get the water to York.
Don't cut me off, let's stop, real quick.
We obviously want to get the water to the.
How would I not want the city help when I was meeting with the fire department?
That's the way we should do it.
How did I not want the city help when I was meeting with the fire department?
I guess.
Who reached out to me, they elected to assist. So the door was open.
Let's get
So
the
that
water
lie
to
about
New York.
nobody
That's
to
the
help
goal.
is a lie.
Get
I was
the
meeting
water
with the
to New
fire
York.
department, the same thing protection.
Let's see if we can get the water to New York, all right?
Stop lying.
All right?
Stop lying.
Anybody else in the public? Seeing
I was meeting with the fire
none?
department. They were waiting on me.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Anderson.
Yes.